Rev up your engines. Okay, the guy's moving to California, so we're talking about a big road trip. Plus, you might think, why is he moving to California? The military's making him go. It's not his choice. I'm going to see what shape it's in to show you what you should do too if you're going on a serious road trip of thousands of miles. I'll go over the whole thing with my computer, but of course, you do the obvious thing. You want to look at the tires. A lot of tread. No cracking here. Go to the next one. Same thing. That one's okay. Same thing for the left rear and the left front. So the tires are good. The last thing you want is tire problem on a long trip. They're cracked, they're rotten. Get new ones before you trip. This case, they're fine. Now I can tell one. It's an old battery because it says 7 of 19 and it's 2023 now. So it's probably on its last legs, but what the heck. We'll run my little machine. It's a 750 cold cranker, 750 set, and away we go. It says it has a surface charge. It says you should replace the battery. It's only down to like 35%. It starts the vehicle, but I'll change the battery before he goes to California. I don't see any kind of leaks. The serpentine belt's still good. It's not cracked. Doesn't matter if the seats are cracked or not. We're gonna get my fancy computer out. It knows what it is. Standalone diagnosis. And now it's thinking. It already got the VIN. We're waiting, we'll say it's got 104,370 miles on it. It doesn't burn any oil. The engine's in good shape. Being a little bit older, it's not all the super high tech that the new ones are. So even the transmissions are more reliable than those new giant 10-speed monstrosities they're throwing out. Here's all the info. Explorer, 3.5 liter, blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't have a touch screen. It's going to go through all the topology and we'll see what's going on. It does have a lot of room for a family. They sell a lot of Explorers because they're big. They hold a lot of people. They're a comfy ride. For Ford, this isn't bad. With that kind of mileage, 9-year-old vehicle, it's only got 4 DTCs and they look like they're all baloney ones. The first one is ABS, the anti-lock brake system, steering angle sensor, which is in here, lost communication with the ESC, and battery voltage. Well, we're going to erase them now, but I can just about guarantee you it has to do with the battery, because it was low voltage. When your battery's old, it gets below a certain parameter voltage. It's enough to start the car, but it wasn't enough to make the ABS system work. So there might not actually be anything even wrong. When he changes the battery, if it goes away, then it was just because the battery was low. And it is a 4-year-old battery. That's the most you're ever going to get these days out of a battery. And the only other thing is the HVAC system, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And it'll probably be a squirrely code too. Comes trouble code for the HVAC system. It's a typical Ford. It runs a bunch of tests while it's doing it. Ford's just a squirrely company. Every time you get these codes, it's got to go through the whole system, turn things on and off. But at least it does it itself, and I don't have to do anything except sit here and wait. Air distribution damper motor. Yeah, at some point in time, one of the dampers probably got stuck, but hey, it blows cold where he wants it to blow cold, so we really don't care about that either. We'll erase that code. Okay, the owner told me it doesn't do defrost anymore. That's that damper. You know how much it costs to take a dash apart on one of these things? It's over $1,000 labor. So he can live without that, you know. Just turn it on real high. He's going to California. It's really dry in California, right? Okay, so now we're going to look at serious data. We'll go to the PCM, and we'll look at live data, and we'll start analyzing everything. Here we go. Remember, black is good, red is bad. We'll start just looking at general information. These are so high-tech. It even shows the acceleration value of cylinders as they're accelerating. It's insane. Variable valve timing camshafts, they're all within specs. No fault in the adaptive fuel table, meaning it's not running particularly rich or lean. We're still in the A's, people, and it goes to Z. Not that there's anything with a Z, but it goes to the whole alphabet. And you can see, it even shows you the status of the sensors on the camshaft, showing that there's no fault. So you don't have to worry about maybe it's a bad sensor. If it was, it'll show a fault on it. Electronic throttle control's fine. No misfires. Equivalence ratio, it's pretty close to perfect. We got 1.01.99. So every once in a while, it's 1/100% off. You can't complain. Well, the vehicle's got 100,000 miles on it. No fault in the fuel pump. See, that's the advantage of all this computer crap. Alright, the fuel pump's electric. Testing it is a royal pain in the rear end, but the computer tests it all the time. And if it has a problem, it'll show there's a fault. And you don't have to guess, gee, is it that fuel pump where I gotta pull the gas tank off to take apart to fix? No. You're gonna know, let's start checking it out. This says no fault, we don't have to check it out. And a lot of transmission data. And it is all black, which is good. We don't want to see any reds on this. So far, everything's black. Now, this is a flex fuel vehicle. And you can see the inferred flex fuel percentage is 9.8%. So that tells me this guy isn't using flex fuel. He's obviously not using E85, that's 85% ethanol, and 15% gasoline. It's 9.8, which is like 10%. Most gasoline at the pumps contains 10% ethanol. It'll say that on a stupid pump, right? Don't waste your money on ethanol, because if you do, this thing will get 20 to 25% worse gas mileage. Except for the farmers growing corn, ethanol's a stupid idea. And we'll go further down. Yes, airflow's normal. Bank 1 and bank 2, look, it's 0.91 minus 0.94. That's pretty much close to perfect. It's adding a tiny amount of fuel, less than 1%. Then it's subtracting less than 1%. And the way these particular engines are designed with the fuel injection system, it's designed that way. It's supposed to go rich, lean, and what that does is it lets the catalytic converter burn the hydrocarbons better. If it ran one way or the other, they can get clogged up. And these vehicles are specially made to switch back and forth a lot, which is what it's doing. Transmissions are on good. No fault in the torque converter clutch. Even shows you the temperature of the fluid. Now, of course, you don't get any that information up here, but the computer knows, and this computer can interface with it, so it knows. Be kind of cool if you could have the information up here, you could watch it while you're driving. But the variable valve timing system's all fine. So I gotta say, I'd have no qualms driving this to California. I would just replace the battery, but let's take it for a road test to see. Maybe it'll make a liar out of me. But I doubt it. Go backing up. It's an old car, so there's no backup camera. If they did, it'd be so small, you wouldn't be able to see anything anyway. It's got a nice smooth ride. I'm listening for noises. If you're going down the road and you're taking a long road trip and you hear wah, 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 it means you need a wheel bearing. My advice, change the wheel bearing before you go on a trip. My uncle didn't do that once when he went from Buffalo to Florida in the winter. And he was in hillbilly land and the wheel bearing went out and he had to get it towed to the Volkswagen dealer where they hit him for $1,500 for something I would have done for $300. So, I don't hear any wheel bearings, that's fine. And listen, it's got an old man turn signal. Nobody can miss that TikTok sound. Some of the new cars, you don't even know if it's on. You can't even hear it. You can certainly hear this thing. Nobody that way, nobody that way. Here we go. We're on our little drag strip here. That's not a race car, it's an SUV. But it's got a reasonable amount of horsepower. And it sure feels like it's going to do pretty good. So, I'm looking back. There's nobody close to us. We don't want to get rear-ended by some lunatic on this road, but here we go. Let's listen. Engine strong. 6-speed tranny. You can barely feel it shift. This thing's in immaculate shape. 100,000 miles. Still going good. I just told the owner this is really probably one of the best ones that they ever made. It's not that fancy 10-speed automatic. Doesn't have all the crazy GDI turbocharged crap all over the place. You're often better getting one before they put all the computers in. Turbos make an engine wear out faster. These, hey, as you see, it's fast enough. Look, we're going 40. You got to pass somebody, step on the gas. Hey, it gets to 60 miles an hour pretty quick, right? You could say, look, this thing's cruising fine. You know, we're going 40. It's going at like 1,100 RPMs. This thing's in great shape. I'd have no questions. Driving it to California, I would just replace the battery. It may be getting old to have over 100,000 miles. It pretty much runs the same as it did the day it came off the showroom floor. Yeah, it needs a battery, big deal. It's 4 years old. Here's my own personal advice. Even if you don't have a battery testing machine like me, if your battery's over 4 years old, just put another one in. Do you want to get stranded? And here's the thing about batteries. Go to an auto parts store, in quotes, discount auto parts store. I went there the other day. Most of their batteries are now over $200, right? For just batteries. Go to Walmart, you pay half that and get the same type of battery with the same warranty. So, buy it now. If you get stranded somewhere, good luck finding a good price stand. If it's 4 years old, heck, just buy another battery. They wear out over time. But over time, this vehicle really hasn't worn out. He's had good luck with it, and I think it's going to last quite some time. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.